Morning, YouTube. This is Chuck Gentles. I want to thank you for coming by this morning. We're up here in the mountains. There's no water up here, and we're in stage 2 fire restrictions, which means you cannot have an internal combustion motor running between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. So, in other words, you can't run during daylight. So there's no water to sluice, and you can't dry wash. So we're going to take some material here from a place. Let me show you here. Down here, we got a rancher up here who is right basically on some of our claims where his property, his leased is. And he's decided to dig some holes on our claims to get water for his cows. Well, this spot you're looking at right here is one of those places. And what he did was brought a backhoe in and he dug that dirt out and put it here in this great big pile. Well, and if you've ever been around backhoe work, you know that the last things coming out of the hole will be on top of the pile as they dump each consecutive bucket. The lower stuff in the hole will be the top stuff on the pile. So what we're going to do today, we're going to screen out a bunch of this, put it in buckets, and then run it through the wash plant that's electric, so we won't produce any sparks. It's supposed to be 95 up here today and 110 in town in Phoenix. So we're just going to go slow, get our dirt, and get out of here maybe, and set up the wash plant by the shop. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay guys, this is the setup. I'm going to screen this material also. There's a lot of rock in it. I'll do a little bit here just to show you what we're doing, and then I'll bring you back when we pack all this out. So I got 4 buckets I'm going to fill, and we'll go from there. So give me a second. Okay, so we're ready to go. Now we're taking from the top and the upper sides of this mound, because that was the bottom. We're going to screen it all. So give me a second here and we'll get going. Okay, so a little watching that goes a long way, so I'm going to keep working that top, and those chunks up on top there of this mound are actually part of the bedrock. So anyhow, I'm going to shut you down. Guys, I thought this would be interesting. This is part of the bedrock on the bottom, and watch. Isn't that amazing? Just thought that'd be kind of interesting to see that part of that bedrock is old and decomposed and probably holding pretty good gold. Okay, so here's what we got. These are like 3/4 buckets. Now these over here a little bit fuller. That one's about a 3/4. So we took that whole top off, right where the shovel and the screen's laying. So now it's a job of packing. It's only about 50 feet, but it's uphill. So I'll be back. Alright y'all, here it is. Our 3/4 in some of these buckets. This is too dang heavy. That material is really heavy. So we're going to pack up, get out of here. It's, see what time it is now. It's 9:30, so that took about an hour. to go ahead and dig this and screen it and pack it up here. So anyhow, we'll head back to the shop and probably get the wash plant out tomorrow because it's really hot right now. So see you later. Alright guys, we're outside the shop and this is what we're going to be setting up this morning. It's the little mini wash plant. Some of it's still on the bike there, and the tubs and whatnot, and battery. And this is the wash plant itself, and it's on. If you ever get a chance to haul equipment and can't figure out how to do it, it's this mini wash plant. Oh, I'm sorry, it's this gorilla cart, and it hauls a lot. It tilts, it dumps, and I just put slime in my tires, and it's good to go. And you can haul just about anything. There's a lot of heavy equipment you can haul. And this is the tubs and the feed pipes and the motors. So I'm going to set this up and get going here in a little bit. Guys, here it is set up. Took a little longer this morning. It's pretty hot and humid already. I think it was 75 or 76 at 6:30. Anyhow, there's the mini wash plant. Here's the pump setup. I got 2 pumps here, battery, switch there. It'll run both these at the same time. That's my catch tub for my where the con's coming off the sluice. And let me show you this again. I showed you before, I'll show you again. But right here, these 2 tabs, there's one here and one here, and this kind of directs the water into the bucket. I'll put a rock in that bucket to keep it from floating. And then my crossover pipes will be from here to this tub, then from that tub to this tub. So at least that's my plan at the present time. It may change. I've got a silt screen here that will actually go here after we get the crossover pipe in, and those are the crossover pipes there. I've got 2, and a friend of mine, you probably know him, Allen's Gold Mining up in the Kingman area, says you really need a sand filter, and I'll probably have that shortly, or maybe shortly. I've been working on this for 2.5 years. So anyhow, enough jabber. Let's get some water in this thing and see what it does. Guys, that's about 70 gallons of water. Here's my pumps. They're mounted in this tub. Sluice is here. It'll dump into the bucket, come from that one to here, then to here. So let me show you how that has to happen if I can get this. Sometimes these crossover tubes are a little tricky, so give me a second. What you have to do when the tubs are the same size, submerge them, get the air out, pick it up totally level, do that. Now these are okay that way. That tub is lower, so I have to put a rock in the bottom or a piece of block. So what I'll do is this. Now this one's going to be a little tricky because I got another pipe in here already. I've got a hose in the way. So what I'm going to do is that. Now that keeps that one off the bottom and this one off the bottom. So if everything's right, this should work just fine. So let's give it a test go. Okay, so this one isn't crossing over. Okay, back to the drawing board. Alright guys, I finally got it to exchange. It's not exchanging real well yet. You can see right here, you can see the water ring. I'm coming through and we're pulling out of here to feed this one. And I just started feeding material, so I'll bring you, let you watch this for just a second. See here where that's hitting right in that bucket, that material. And I'm just using this little scoop for a while to start. Just making sure everything's feeding well. We've got our silk screen here that's iffy at best, but it kind of works. You can see material here and here in this mat. These are silicone mats that I made. So let me shoot this from a different angle for you. Okay, now you'll be able to see the come down the top chute. Washes down real well, so we have dual sprays here, and this stops here, and we'll catch the rocks down here eventually. All the good material goes through the punch plate and down into the sluice down here. And now you can see that flow. The silicone mat, it's almost like a dream mat in here. It has a little, I don't know if you even call them, they're like figure eights. And up here, and they alternate all the way down to high-low to the other mat. And up here is the nugget trap with this top end up here. So now if you notice, let's spin this around here a little bit. We're going into the bucket and there's a rock holding it down, and that water's coming over to this tub, to that crossover bar or pipe. And this is the silt screen here. Right here is the other crossover pipe coming on the other side of the silt screen. And it's going down where the pumps are. Right there. And then it comes off the pumps, comes up to the upper end here, and the twin sprays, and that's it. That's as easy as it is. Alright, I need to get to work and get the shoveling because the sun's coming out, and I might have to put up a canopy. Okay, so I'm about half a bucket. This is what wouldn't go through the punch plate, and we'll check that later. This is turning out good. The sluice is working really good here. Got a little bit of build up on this lower end. I could probably be just a touch faster. And if you look here though, you can see the water exchanging from this tub to that tub. And the same over there, not as violent over there, but you can see it, and you can see it coming off of this one, you can see it coming over to the pump. And you can still see the pump, so I'm getting a little bit of it settled out. Okay, that's it for now. I'll be back. Okay, that's one down. Spray's working good. Punch plate's working good. I'm losing a little water, but I'm catching it in tub. Water's getting really dirty. Well, but it's still running good. And it's about, oh, that bucket's about full. I'm going to have to shut down and dump it. Anyhow, so I'd like to see that, see where we're at. Alright, that took about 30 seconds to do that, and you can see we're still crossing over. And you can see the garbage in the screen, the silt screen. Water's moving everywhere. I wish I could show you some gold, but the water is getting dirty pretty quick, and that's only one bucket, so we'll be doing another one here in just a second. One little thing, guys. This is a wash plant, so this material is actually broke up bedrock, and this is all broke up bedrock rocks, and look how clean they are. There's no dirt on these at all. None. When it comes off this plate, bars up here and hits the punch plate, they're clean. And I'm almost through the second bucket, and we're just about, we're about that far from the top of the catch bucket, so I'm going to have to dump that in just a minute. Yeah, I get quite a buildup of rocks on this punch plate, so this is what I do. Just take this little 1 gallon bucket. And that's that. Then we can go through it and see if there's anything that's a nugget or a small piece in that. So I'm going to shut down and then move you here, and I'll show you how we get that bucket out. Okay, it's not a big deal to get this thing out of here. It's other than it's really, really heavy. So you just slide it out a little ways. Get as much water out of it as you can get. And you can see the tails in it. And then I'll haul it over there and dump it. Wash the rock off, put it back in, and we'll be ready to go again for the bucket number 3, because right now there's bucket 1 and bucket 2, they're empty. Alright guys, be back. Alright, the clean bucket's in there. You can see the rock in it. You have to have that in there when you start up, where the water just pushes the bucket out of the way. And we're getting pretty bad, the water. That's 2 buckets, and my pumps are above the bottom, so the silt isn't too bad. The silt's about maybe a ½ inch on the bottom. Okay, let's get after it. I just thought I'd let you watch that spray bar work for a while. Because this being bedrock, this rock has to be washed perfectly, so if there's any little speck even, we want to catch it. Because this is just a test to see if we ever want to take a dredge in there and try to see if we're going to get something good or just a bunch of dirt and rock. So anyhow, this is how this works. I'm using 2 spray bars. I own Gold Mining. He uses 1, but he doesn't use drilled holes. He uses slots, and I think it works better. Alright guys, bucket 3 is down. I'm going to change out our tailings bucket. Water's getting worse and worse as we go, so we got 1 left. And this is the first 3 took about an hour, but that includes filming, so it's not taking very long. I'll be back. Alright guys, this is it. Bucket 4. It's been about 2 hours now counting, moving the equipment in, setting up, and all the video that I've been doing. So anyhow, this is going to be the last one. I probably won't show you any of this until I do the cleanup. So I'll be back when it's run. Okay guys, that's bucket 4, 11 minutes. So if I had this in the creek, this would be the ideal thing to have up in the forest, and you have fire restriction. I'm not producing a spark anywhere. and if we were to get a little grass fire going somehow, I've got all this water I can put it out with. So this is ideal, running great. I didn't capture that much. I had a couple overflows. Here you can see all the rock in here. That bucket's about a quarter full. So we pulled all that out. Everything's running fine. So we're going to do a cleanup. All right, guys, we're going to try to get the mat out of here now. Shouldn't be a problem. Now this one gets a little bit of material underneath the mat because that upper clip, like this clip is the lower clip, it has a tendency to be like a riffle and pull the material back. We're going to try to watch for gold as we go here. Seems to be some good black sand in it. Okay, now let's go up here. See this? That pulls a little bit back up in there. This wash plant I made, well, I've been making for years, and it's all out of scrap from when I was cutting metal and doing plasma work. So a guy could probably build this and have a lot less screws like this and things. So anyhow, let me squirt a hose up in there and get that out, and I think we'll be ready. We're going to use the 14-inch pans. We're going to use these. And obviously we're going to safety pan. And that was screened, that material was all screened to half minus. And this material is all the half minus. There's any half plus here. Oh, you know what we need? We need a squirt of this stuff. That looks like too much, but maybe. So all 4 buckets came down to this. And that's not even a ½ inch deep, maybe. So let's see if there's anything good in it. Now that little bit there is about half of what was in that tub. So let's see what this looks like on the screen. Because now this is quarter. And like usual, I get too much soap suds. But there doesn't seem to be any quarter plus nuggets. So I'm going to pan this down to where we got the quarter minus, and then I'll show you. Alright guys, this pan had absolutely nothing in it. Now this area I know was dredged, I know the people who dredged it, but they didn't break up this bedrock like the backhoe did. So I was expecting to have something in it, but this is only one pan. And as you can see, there's just a lot of black sand here, but there wasn't a speck of gold in this first pan. I mean, that doesn't mean there isn't any somewhere in the next pan or the one after that, but there is absolutely nothing in here. A lot of black sand, but no shiny. So we'll go on and do the next one. Maybe it'll be better. Okay, pan 2, we're gonna go ahead and screen him out. White quartz. And I congratulate the people who did that dredge hole there. They did a really good job of cleaning up. because I wouldn't have thought they could have got through the cracks in that bedrock, because it was fairly deep cracks there. But we'll see what this pan produces, and maybe they missed something. All right, guys, this is the last of it. We'll see if there's I screened it quarter minus. That's what this is. So we'll see what we got here. Hopefully there's something. Would be nice. But it is a test, you know, so some tests are good and some tests aren't good, so we'll see what this one produces. And it's really good black sand in here. I'm really surprised there isn't any gold in it so far. But it's a test, and I'll know another spot, don't go there. And that's what testing's all about, you know, is find the good spot and don't go to the bad spots. So this should show us, if this shows color here, you know, it might be worthwhile to go where they had dredged before, go past it a little ways in one direction or the other. These guys are pretty efficient, I know them, and they do a good job. So everything isn't looking real promising right now here. I mean, this is so clean, it's it's kind of scary. I mean, absolutely not a speck. And if it isn't here, I know it's not in the safety pan. And it isn't. So that's a bust. So we know we will not go there, but we did prove out the wash plant that it is a good machine to work up in the forest or anywhere that there's a fire restriction. You can still run that, and you can run a lot of material. As long as the battery lasts, you can run. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, give a good comment, come back again. Thank you so much for watching. This is the perfect tool if you need a non-spark producing device to prospect in an area that's really dry and the Forest Service or the BLM decides that you can't run anything that produces a spark.